Evolution by natural selection is a way that species can change over time. People have talked about this idea for a long time before Darwin came into being. Plato thought species were the same and never changed, but some other Greeks thought about the idea of evolution. In the 1700s, some people noticed that different areas had different plants and animals, even though they had similar environments. Some people also realized that some creatures had gone extinct. They no longer existed in those times. In the 17 and 1800s, James Hutton and Charles Lyell thought that the Earth changed gradually over time. They disagreed with people who thought it all happened quickly in a short amount of time. This went directly against the views that the Earth was only a few thousand years old. Eventually, Lyell, who was Darwin's friend, helped popularize this view of gradual change. And this view of gradual change had a strong influence on Darwin and Wallace and other thinkers of the time. The theory of evolution by natural selection was not the only theory of evolution formed during this time period. For example, Jean-Baptiste Lamarck suggested a way that species could change because of their environment, but most people didn't believe him. His idea was basically giraffe necks are long because they would have to stretch them out to reach leaves. As they stretched out day after day, their necks would grow longer and longer. If the neck grew during the animal's life, it would be passed down. And so a male giraffe that had, been eating on the tallest trees would have the longest neck, and that would be passed down. This was incorrect because species traits are very often not that flexible through time. So we know giraffes' necks kind of get as long as they get, and then they stop. And so this theory, while incorrect, was important for thinking about evolution and did help inform other theories, alternative theories of evolution. In the 1800s, two scientists named Charles Darwin and Alfred Russel Wallace went on trips separately in different places around the world. They studied plants and animals in South America, Australia, Africa, and an island chain called the Galapagos, which many of us know about now. They independently noticed that some animals were similar but had small differences, like beaks of different sizes and shapes. Darwin thought that maybe one original animal changed over time to become a new type of animal. He also found out that each kind of bird in the beak example ate something different. So a bird that eats really small seeds might have a smaller or longer beak, whereas a bird that eats bugs might have a beak better suited to eating those bugs. So independently, Darwin and Wallace came to the same general conclusion, which Darwin ultimately called natural selection, and that's where we draw our knowledge of evolution from. The rule is simple. If an animal is very successful in its environment, it will produce offspring that will survive better than other offspring. Therefore, favorable traits will become more common, and less favorable traits will be eliminated. As we scale up, thinking not just about individuals, but about populations, this is how we get evolutionary change. And if you want to know why we remember Darwin more than Wallace, it's because Darwin published a book first. They both published papers at the same time, but a book won. And so that's why we always say Darwin and almost never say Wallace. I'll see you in the next video.